What's up? What's up? What's up, my Mind Your Money business folks? It's me yet again with another video. Today's stock market news. And as always, hopefully you're in the market and not trying to time the market because that is simply impossible to. And hopefully you're still not straddling the fence because the year is almost over. And hopefully you have started investing in your future. Hopefully you have. So let's see and get into what happened in the news today. But before that, there was something on my mind before I went to bed last night, and it is this. Like I talk about how hard people work to make money, but then they barely have any left by the end of the month to do what needs to be done with it, like pay bills or invest, right? So now I've been thinking you need to start looking at your income and your life as a business. Think about companies. When they start to lose money, what do? They revise their plan. They cut their workforce. They cut out things that's no longer valuable. They get rid of people that can be replaced currently like by AI technology. So why don't you do the same? I guarantee you, if you create a budget for your family, you will be able to find $500 to $1,000 a month free cash, or get a side hustle. You can, come up with $500 to $1,000 of cash from that side hustle, and things that you've cut out from your life, like going to Starbucks, eating out, going out, putting vacations on your credit card. Have staycations. You know what I mean? So there are ways that you can cut expenses in your personal life. So treat your personal life as if it is a business. Do like what your company does. They have no problem with layoffs. They have no problems with firing people or getting rid of dead weight. Things that no longer add value to the team or the business. Or like AI is replacing people, right? So find something to replace things in your life, like start cooking at home, taking your lunch into work so you don't have to keep buying lunch. Make your coffee at home so you don't have to keep driving to Starbucks paying $10 every morning for a cup of coffee, or even a cup in the afternoon for a pick-me-up. Start going to bed early so you can have enough energy throughout the day to make it through work without having to drink caffeine. Take care of yourself and your health. I'm starting to drink one of these now. It's full of water. And while I'm adding things to it, this is a psychological thing. I put lemon and cayenne pepper in my water. But either way, start doing things that can bring more money into your life, again, with the side hustle, creating a budget, cutting expenses, and that can happen. But without further ado, let's get into the stock market news because now I'm rambling. So it says here the Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ notch weekly wins after volatile week as Trump signals China talks back on track. And hopefully they'll open the government back up so I can get paid. Anywho, U.S. stocks rose on Friday as President Trump eased worries of further trade escalation with China, with regional bank stocks began to recover from significant losses amid investor jitters over bad loans and U.S. credit quality. Even the relationship with the U.S. and China is an indicator on how things are changing. Like the U.S. is in debt a lot to China. A lot of things are being made in China. And currently, the U.S. is starting to say, we're tired of being relied so much upon you, right? That's the problem. And because of that, because we don't want to be relied on China as much as we have been in the past, that's money. That's causing friction, right? So it's like we're trying to take some of our power back. Even with you, when you're creating a budget, you're going to have this internal and mental fight with yourself when you're trying to scale back, to stop putting so much of your finances into things that aren't giving you a good return on that investment. And it may not even be an investment. But because you've been so trained and so used to doing it, and that business has been so used to receiving your money, when they send you those coupons, when you see the advertisements on TV, you're going to have this internal mental fight with yourself, you know, when it comes to trying to cut back. It's a struggle. It's like trying to eat right. You want that cake, you want those cookies, you want that pizza, you want all of these unhealthy things. But mentally, you're trying to tell yourself, no, it's killing you, it's harming you more than it's helping you. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, let me get back to the article. So this says the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained more than 0.5%, while the S&P 500 rose 0.5%, and the Nasdaq gained about 0.5%. So I take that. So all three averages closed out the week with gains today. So Trump on Friday said talks with China were going well, and his meeting with Chinese leader Xi Jinping would go forward. The remarks followed earlier comments in which he said the 100% tariffs he had threatened to add to existing duties on Chinese goods from November 1 would not be a sustainable level for each side's economy, which is true. Everything is being made in China. And if you charge 100% levies, 100%, that means the goods are going to be sold to Americans for an even higher price. So yeah. So meanwhile, U.S. regional bank stocks turned positive after a slew of upbeat earnings updates on Friday from those lenders, including Truist Financial Corp, Huntington Bank Shares, and Fifth Third Bank Corp. Yeah, never heard of any of those. But Wall Street jitters had grown Thursday after two U.S. regional lenders disclosed problems with loans allegedly linked to fraud. Those troubles deepened concerns sparked by J.P. Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon's cockroach warning, seen as further signs of cracks in the credit worthiness of U.S. borrowers. So stocks back and forth Friday capped a turbulent week for market, plagued by the rising U.S.-China trade tensions, as well as the prospect of a prolonged U.S. federal shutdown. So the shutdown is dragging on, I know, now tied to the third longest in history, with some lawmakers now worried the stoppage could extend into November and even past Thanksgiving. Federal workers' paychecks remain suspended. Yeah, I'm not getting one. As Trump threatens to block payback, and the court considers his efforts to fire thousands. It's interesting. We're living in interesting times. But we're living in times where it's no better time to take better care of yourself. We're no longer living in days where you get up, go to work, or work for a company for 20, 30 years, you get a pension possibly, and you can live off of that pension, your home is paid off, and Social Security. That's not going to work anymore. A lot of companies are no longer offering pensions. They offer 401k plans. And a lot of people are not taking advantage of those 401k plans. They're not even investing. They're not even investing enough for the company's match, or they're not even matching the company's match. And Social Security will not be enough for people to survive on. And then you have a lot of people that are carrying mortgages into retirement, which is not a good thing as well. And another thing is, because of inflation, the prices of goods and services will continue to go up. I remember my uncle saying when they were kids, Snickers bar was 5 cents. Of course he's like in his 80s now. But a Snickers bar is now what? $1, $2, or $1.50, $2. So the price of goods and services will continue to go up. And you need your money to beat out inflation. And inflation is like 3% a year. So if you're just keeping your money in the bank, you're losing money. You're not keeping up with inflation. You're lessening your borrowing and your buying power because the interest on your bank account is like what, 0.5% or 0.025% or 0.25% interest. You're not, so at least have your money in a high yield savings account, depending upon what the interest rate is on that right now. And I think high yield savings account interest rates are at like maybe 3.5%. But if you're investing into paper assets like the stock market, you know, the S&P 500 over the last 100 years has brought back over 10%. So if your money had been invested, you could be getting a 10% return. And like my Palantir stock is up 91%. I was looking at that this morning. You know, and my portfolio, my investment portfolio, there are many platforms you can use like Robinhood, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, but, excuse me. My portfolio is up 41, it dropped, it was up at 44, but it is now at 41.24% that I am up on my portfolio. So I'm outpacing inflation. And I also learned about 2 ETFs that I'm going to look into that I may also mention at the end of this. But let's get into what some stocks did today. So Palantir gained a nice 3 cents today. Hold up, let me make sure this is true. Yeah, it gained 3 cents today, closing out at $178.15. Tesla gained a nice $10.56 today, closing out at $439.31. Broadcom, however, lost $4.82 today, closing out at $349.33. FTEC, Information Technology ETF, that consists of a lot of information technology companies that include the likes of NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, Broadcom, Oracle, which is doing well, Palantir, Cisco, AMD, another chip maker, IBM, Salesforce. So you don't have to go out. I don't have to choose individual companies to invest in. I can invest into an ETF like this. Anywho, this ETF made 20 cents today, closing out at $223.93. NVIDIA gained $1.41 today, closing out at $183.22. And who else? SPLG. Let's go one more. SPLG tracks the S&P 500, the top 500 largest companies in the United States. And you know, like the S&P 500 consists of a lot of similar stocks. It consists of Meta, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Broadcom, Google, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway. That's Warren Buffett's company, right? The 500 largest companies in the US. Anywho, SPLG gained 43 cents today, closing out at $78.16. Now, what I heard about, or what I'm looking into now, are artificial intelligence ETF that have been created. Some have been around for a while, and some have been around only 2 years, 2 or 3 years. But I heard of one, CHAT, CHAT. That's Round Hill Generative AI and Technology ETF. It's only been around since May 2023, so it's fairly new, right? It doesn't offer any dividends. And normally I like to invest in things that have been around for at least 10 years or more. But currently the stock is at $63. It lost 58 cents today. But this stock consists of, again, companies like NVIDIA. It's going to be those that are in the AI space. Google, Oracle, Meta, Facebook, Microsoft. I've never heard of this. 0700.HK, Tencent. And Alibaba Group Holding, Amazon, ARM, which is another. They're making moves too. Click on ARM individually. Yeah, but either way, so that's chat. I'm looking into that. I'm also looking into BOTZ is the sticker, not sticker, but the ticker symbol. BOTZ. That's Global X Robotics and Artificial Intelligence ETF. It's currently at $36.05. It lost 44 cents today. Current assets of $3 billion. It does offer a dividend yield of 0.22%. It's up 14.49% year to date, which isn't bad. Consists of other companies. Well, NVIDIA, some I've never heard of. ABB Ltd, Fanuc Corporation, Cadence Corporation, and Intuitive Surgical. Either way, they're AI and robotics base. It's an ETF, right? So I'm looking into that. Also, another one that caught my eye is ARK, ARKK. This one was, if you know her, it was created by Kathy Wood, by a female, right? I'm very interested in this one. It is currently worth $86.24. It lost 44 cents today. Doesn't offer a yield. Year-to-date return, 52.69%. So this ETF has gone up 52% year-to-date. So that means I'm getting in pretty late. So I missed out on 52% gains. Damn. Oh well. And it's been around since 2014. So that's why I'm very interested in it. You know, that's the 10-year mark. And it's showing upward mobility. You know. Wow. It consists of companies like Coinbase. You know, that's your, Coinbase Global, Roku, Roblox Corporation, Robinhood, Palantir, Bitmine, you know, Tesla. So, you know, her fund, you know, consists of 22% in the healthcare, 21% in technology, 17% in financial services, 17% in communications, 16% in consumer cyclical, and 5% in industrial. So I'm very interested in her ETF as well. Yeah. And was there another? I can't remember what the other one was. But yeah, that's it. That's it, people. So look into those things, or if you have others that you may be invested in, let me know. Again, you need to get out of debt, people. You need to get out of debt. You need to get out of debt. You need to get out of debt. Like, as I remember reading some facts that I found of Americans being over $18 trillion in debt. Majority of that in mortgages, a lot of credit card debt, a lot of car loan debt. You need to get out of debt. The personal loan debt, get out of debt, because as long as you're in debt, you are a slave to the lender, and you're working jobs. A lot of people are working jobs that they do not like, and they have all this debt that consumes them. But why not make the most of your job? That's why I say create your life, turn your life into a business. Start to appreciate that job. Start to look for ways to get promoted in that job so that you can tackle this debt. Get a side hustle so that you can earn more money. Start learning more about AI and this cyber security, so on, where the money is being spent and made, and where we're going into the future with this new industrial revolution because of technology that's happening. So tap into that. Again, you need to make more money. And currently you live in a country, United States, where you can make as much money as you want or think you can. As a man thinketh, so is he or she. So you are limited only by your thoughts. If you don't think that you can do it, then you're not going to do it. If you think that you can, keep thinking that you can, and it will happen. But behind those thoughts comes action. You have to take action as well. And some things may not work, but keep putting forth action. Keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you will get to where you need to go. And then you're going to find out there's more places that you can go. It just continues to go. That's life. That's growth, right? You never stop growing. You never stop learning, or you should never stop learning. Anyway, so I'm going to end this video here. So like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Let me know what you think. If you think anything at all, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I pretending to be one. So any and all information on my channel is for entertainment purposes only, and it expresses my opinions. So please consult with a financial advisor before you invest any of your hard-earned money. All right, so you guys take care. Have a blessed weekend. Peace.